Coming up, a go-ahead pitch and a big shutout comes as two teams are trying to win their way into the playoffs. This is Locked On Game to Game, MLB.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're watching Locked On Game to Game MLB. Local experts join us, and we recap all of the games for you from yesterday across Major League Baseball. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. 4 Guardians pitchers shut out the Reds yesterday in Cincinnati, and the Locked On hosts for both teams go over Cleveland's win.
Cleveland Guardians start out this battle for the Ohio Cup with a victory. Logan Allen, another stellar performance by the Cleveland triumvirate of rookie pitchers. Logan Allen, the younger. If we're going to go with triumvirate, let's go with a younger as well. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, 7 total base runners, no earned runs. Brings his ERA down to 3.33. Pretty good for a rookie. One of your stars of the game. If we're going to go back into our 3 stars of the game in this one, I think, obviously Allen, number 1. I think number 2 is Miles Straw. Reached base 3 times, only player to do so. Stole 2 bases, was active on the base pass, and then for the third one, it's Kwan versus Ramirez. I got to give it to Jose in his return because he had the only extra base hit. The Reds have been struggling. Cleveland stepped up, 3-0 win. Again, Logan Allen is the big star in this one. Cleveland will try to win the Ohio Cup in tomorrow's matchup, Thor versus Andrew Abbott. Make sure to check it out and check out Locked On Guardians for more.
Sometimes I hate baseball. What's up? This is Jeff Carr from the Locked On Reds podcast. And the Cincinnati Reds had base runners. They just couldn't do anything with them. Literally nothing. They get shut out. Had runners on the base paths in just about every inning. There were multiple innings where the Reds got the leadoff man on. Couldn't do anything with it. And the big play for the Cleveland Guardians is the sun was in Spencer Steer's eye for all of 30 seconds, and a line drive happens to come right at him. It's baseball. Sometimes I hate it. So the Reds need to win tomorrow to split the 2-game set. We'll talk all about that on the next Locked On Reds podcast. Frustrating.
Bryce Elder allowed just 1 Yankee hit in 7 innings, and the Braves picked up a shutout win over New York on Tuesday. Locked On Yankees tells us more about the cold bats for New York.
This is Stacey Gotsoulias of Locked On Yankees, and the Yankees drop another one to the Braves, this time 5-0, and this time they only got 1 hit. DJ LeMahieu was the lone hit for the Yankees. Meanwhile, the Braves scored 3 runs in the first off Luis Severino. Not shocking. What was shocking is that he lasted 4 innings and only gave up 5 runs. 3 of them were earned, those 3 runs in the first, which came off a Marcell Ozuna home run that was hit off an 86-mile-an-hour slider that got way too much of the plate that you and I could have hit out of the stadium. So the Yankees are looking to not get swept on Wednesday in Atlanta, and they will be facing Charlie Morton. So we'll see how they do there. We have everything you need to know about this game. Plus, are the Yankees one of the most frustrating teams in baseball? Yes, and we talk about it.
The Cardinals jumped out to an early lead, and they beat the A's without too much drama last night. Locked On Cardinals has more on the home victory.
Maybe this Dakota Hudson thing is real after all, as the righty stymies the Oakland A's. Hey, it's JD from Locked On Cardinals, and offensively, the Cardinals had a big night. They pounded out 11 hits. They scored 6 runs, including 3 home runs from Nolan Arenado, Jordan Walker, and Tommy Edman. Arenado had a standout night. He goes 4 for 5, raises his average to a team-high 289 on the season. But when pitching has been the reason why this team is disappointed, you got to give credit where credit is due. And Dakota Hudson, once again, delivers. Going 6 2/3 innings, he allows just 2 runs on 5 hits, strikes out 3, walks just 1, and moves to 4-0 on the season. That's right, Dakota Hudson is undefeated. With the W, he becomes just the 12th player at Busch Stadium 3 to record 20 wins at Busch Stadium 3 in his career. The team has now won 3 in a row and will go for the sweep of the A's on Wednesday. For the latest updates and info, be sure to keep it Locked On Cardinals.
Coming up, the Nationals hold off the Red Sox in a close one. This is Locked On Game to Game MLB. Today's edition of Locked On Game to Game is brought to you by Bunches. Bunches is the place where sports fans chat. So Locked On MLB has a group chat, and it's on Bunches. So you can go there now and connect with other baseball fans, chat about your favorite team, and keep up with the latest MLB news. So download the Bunches app today, and when you do, your friends at Bunches have featured the Locked On MLB Bunch in the Discover tab. So you can also click the link in the description or show notes to join the Locked On MLB Bunch community today. Welcome back. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Big starts from the Nationals and the Red Sox had both teams in the bullpen by the fifth inning, and then the bullpens shut down the offenses the rest of the way for a one-run Boston win. Locked On Nationals recaps the loss for DC.
The Nats lose 5-4 against the Boston Red Sox. Ryan Clary from Locked On Nationals here. Besides Josiah Gray getting rocked around tonight, outside of the third inning, this Nationals team didn't really have all that much production whatsoever. But let's start with Josiah Gray because, again, for the third straight start for Josiah, he got rocked around a little bit. But as you get closer to the end of this season, with what Josiah Gray has done so far, I'm not all that concerned. He hasn't had his best stuff over the last 3 games. He's going against good offenses. The Boston Red Sox is a very slept-on team, in my opinion, but that's for another day. C.J. Abrams scored his 30th stolen base of the season tonight. If you were to tell me after the first 2 months that he would get to 30 bags by the middle of May or middle of August, I would have told you you're nuts. But Keibert Ruiz, also another clutch hit.
Hi, this is Gabby from Locked On Red Sox. Good win for the Red Sox tonight as they held on to win 5-4 against the Nationals. This was a game in which we saw quite a bit of everything. A huge, costly base running mistake by Reese McGuire when he should have stayed at first base on a sacrifice fly, but instead tried to steal second and was ruled out. The Red Sox tried to challenge it, and ultimately he was still out. So he needs a lesson in base running because that was pretty bad. And in that same inning, Justin Turner got called out looking on strikes on a third strike pitch that didn't even look like a strike, but the bullpen held it down. Bernardino, Schreiber, Winkowski, Jansen, and Martin are just an absolute great core of a bullpen. So just got to keep it going and continue to win games.
Coming up, Cavan Biggio takes a hit by pitch to win the game. This is Locked On Game to Game, MLB. Today's edition of Locked On Game to Game is brought to you by eBay Motors. A championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. Same thing goes with your vehicle. So for parts that fit, head to ebaymotors.com and look for the green check. Stay in the game with eBay Guaranteed Fit. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers, eligible items only, and exclusions do apply. Welcome back. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. Cavan Biggio brought home the go-ahead run when he was hit by a pitch in the 8th inning. The deciding run got to trot home against the Phillies by the hit by pitch, and both our Locked On hosts go over the finish.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Phillies lose their opener to the Toronto Blue Jays. Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. Let's look at the positives, right? Zach Wheeler was incredible tonight. It was a great start by him. It's a great sign for things going forward. That's awesome. Sure, great. The bad, the offense was non-existent tonight, and the Phillies have now had 3 games in a row where they just can't put up runs to the point where they can win a game. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about it, but Toronto's a good team. You go out, you win Nola's start tomorrow, and we feel a lot better about this. And Toronto's a playoff opponent. I mean, this is kind of to be expected, a tough, tight game. I just want to see the offense wake up more. I'm not mad about the loss because the Phillies did some really good things defensively and on the mound tonight. Just a game that you wish they would have gotten. Oh well, 2-game set. Go ahead and split it tomorrow. We'll talk more on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
Hello, friends. Craig Ballard, Locked On Blue Jays. Blue Jays gifted a 2-1 victory over the Philadelphia Phillies on Tuesday night. Second time this season, the Blue Jays have been gifted a win. And for the second time this season, I say thank you and we'll take it. Let's get the usual housekeeping out of the way. John Schneider, you were awful tonight as per usual. Don Mattingly, why are you even here? And Guillermo Martinez, you are robbing from the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, you say Kikuchi? My goodness. A few starts back, we mentioned that Kikuchi was migrating out of the he's so much better than he was before conversation and into the never mind previous comparisons. He's flat out good. At this point, he's flat out good, and that's where we are right now. 6th start for Yusei since the All-Star break, and he's lowered his ERA all 6 starts. Absolute fuego. Shout out to Jordan Hicks and Jordan Romano. Welcome back, Jordan Romano. But I thought Hicks and Romano were both terrific tonight. I thought they were both literally as good as we've seen them tonight all season long.
Kyle Tucker's clutch home run in the 7th gave the Astros the lead for good in Miami, and our Locked On Astros host has more after the win.
Howdy, y'all. The Astros won a ball game. Oh, wait, why am I talking like that? I guess I'm just excited that the Astros won a game. It was another one of those late comebacks, and the Astros have been doing that a little bit lately. They scored 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in 6th, and 1 in 7th. That was a go-ahead home run by Kyle Tucker. And this was one of those games that was super exciting. You had Hunter Brown come in and get the W out of the bullpen, but Christian Javier failed to go 5 innings again. But the big story of today's game was the fact that Jose Altuve did exit the game with a left knee contusion. He's day-to-day. He said he was okay after the game, so hopefully it's just a minor thing. We will find out soon. And Dusty went on and was trolling Astros fans by saying that Diaz catching Javier was not an experiment, and he said he's still learning to be a catcher. So we'll talk about this on Locked On Astros.
The Rangers win again, and the Angels lost again last night as the two teams continue to move in opposite directions. Our Locked On hosts have more from the AL West matchup.
Corey Seager unleashed his violence on some baseballs, and the Rangers won 7-3 over the Angels. I'm Bryce Paddock, host of the Locked On Rangers podcast. This was an absolutely brilliant offensive performance from Corey Seager. 3 hits for him, including his 21st and 22nd home run of the season. The Rangers just cruised to this win. The offense was rolling, and Corey Seager was once again the maestro, driving in 5 runs of the Rangers' 7 on the day. The Rangers also got a quality start again out of Jordan Montgomery. 9 strikeouts for him, a season high in 6 innings of 1-run ball. Did not walk anybody. The pen came in and did exactly what it normally does. Josh Boers, a shutout inning with a couple of strikeouts. Aroldis Chapman, a perfect shutout inning. Chris Stratton came in, gave up a couple runs, and Will Smith closed down the door for the Rangers win yet again. The 72nd of the season. This team is rolling and hot, and Corey Seager is the best hitter on the planet.
The Angels have dropped their 2nd straight game to the Rangers. On Tuesday night, they lost 7-3 after a Lucas Giolito start. What's going on, everybody? John Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels. The Halos just continue to play terrible baseball since the trade deadline. They get all these additions. You get a new addition to the rotation in Giolito. And he's fine. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 110 pitches. I know one of those home runs from Corey Seager bounced out of Jordan Adams' hand or glove as he tried to catch it against the wall. Eerily similar to the Joe Adell catch in the glove and then bounce over the wall home run that happened in 2020. Randall Grichuk hit a home run in garbage time, and that's all she wrote. So here we are again on the other end of a loss. Mike and I are going to talk about what the heck is going on with this team since the trade deadline. And look to the future. Look to the Trash Pandas, everybody. Join us on Locked On Angels.
That's it for this edition of Locked On Game to Game MLB. Thank you, as always, for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Now make sure that you're subscribed to Locked On MLB and your favorite team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts from. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Game to Game.